This week on Pop Fiction, Night Court, AI, Max, Gladiator, and a lot more. Okay, this is 252 Pop Fiction, where you'll find all the news and reviews in pop culture that's right to type. Today's top story.
After a clip of Brandon Atrioc Ewing allegedly having a tab open with deep fakes of other streamers went viral online, he apologized live on Twitch. QT Cinderella and Sweet Anita, two streamers, expressed their anger and disgust at the circumstance.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, so in a nutshell, this guy, Atrioc, he's a big-time streamer, right?
Okay.
On stream. These are the guys that, like, they play video games and, like, film themselves while they're playing video games and stuff. He has a pretty big following, right?
Okay.
So he was streaming at, like, 2 o'clock in the morning, right? Mm-hmm. And when he went live, some of his tabs were up on his computer. And when he was trying to, like, hey, delete these tabs, some fans noticed that he was on a porn site. And on the caption, they were deep fake AIs of other streamers that were actually friends of his. So it was completely AI. It was a deep fake, but it's kind of like... it's kind of like, you know, yeah. It's like...
I thought we were friends.
Yeah, I know. Oh, you know what I mean? And then he's like... And so then when he does, like, his apology thing, he's doing his apology, and then he has his wife, like, right there in the video with him. She's all crying and everything because she's all distraught. And he's all blaming the internet for... It's 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever, and there's these pop-ups, and he just hits a pop-up, and there's these things on it.
Oh, yeah. Just by coincidence.
Just by coincidence. And it's like, nah, dude, I think you did a search. Anyway, a third HBOMax series has now been canceled. Following the earlier cancellations of shows like The Titans and Doom Patrol, after 3 seasons... Pennyworth, the origin of Batman's butler, has reportedly been canceled. So, HBO Max is like, they got like this, I don't know, ever since Gunn and Safran came in, they've just been taking things out.
You know I don't like those shows. They're too teenage soap opera for me. Mm-hmm. So... You know, canceling it, I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Well, these were the ones that were on HBO Max, so there was a lot more...
it probably had that CW feel to it.
Well, no, they just was... Well, it was a lot more cussing and nudity because it was on HBO Max. Yeah. Okay. How many times are you going to hear Robin say, fuck? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But...
I say it a lot.
Yeah, but it's Robin. You know, or Nightwing now. But Nightwing, whatever. Fact of the matter is, DC has been doing that, you know, make them and drop them kind of thing for a minute now.
Well, if people aren't watching... You know, they're going to give another show the slot.
They think people were watching. I just think it's not in the overall big picture of what the new regime that's running DC now. I don't think a lot of that Zack Snyder, Snyderverse, all the other stuff that was just on TV on like the CW shows and stuff like that. I think they're just
washing their hands of
and clean. And the only thing I can say is, of all the things that they're cleaning house with, how can they still plan on doing this Flash movie?
Oh, don't start
until I saw that trailer, and I was like, "Hey, man,
you're not going to go on another Ezra Miller rant, are you?"
I'm not going to go on an Ezra Miller rant, but it looked pretty good. I mean, I know it got exciting. That's what the trailer's supposed to do.
Flashpoint is one of my favorite stories. I know that. And you know what? I wasn't buying new comics at the time. Mm-hmm. My cousin was. Yeah. And he bought 2 copies of every Flashpoint issue and gave me a set. And I was like, thank you. And it's an excellent story. I'm glad they're still running with Flashpoint. It's a great story. I hope they don't mess it up.
Yeah. Well.
What?
The chances of them messing up are pretty good. But
not necessarily. You're just a DC hater.
They've given me a lot of ammo. But when they do something that I really like, I say, man, I really like it. It was funny. It was good. It was entertaining, action-packed, blah, 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 blah.
All right. The sequel to Gladiator by Ridley Scott will debut on November 24th, 2024, according to Paramount Pictures. Paul Mescal, an Oscar candidate for Aftersun, is negotiating to play the lead. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I did not like the original Gladiator. Did not like it at all.
Were you not entertained?
It was predictable. Like this, a perfect example. The scene where his father comes in and is going to give a 20-30 minute speech on why he's not going to pass Emperor on to him and give Caesar to the Gladiator. Mm-hmm. I knew he was going to kill him. I'm sitting there, I'm like, finish up and kill him.
Well, of course he was going to kill him.
Okay, kill him. He's all right, you've already explained this 3 times now. Okay, we're going to a 20-minute dialogue. And I know it's going to end with him. The whole movie was like that for me. It's like I knew it was going to happen. It's like I'm waiting for it to happen. Oh, no, he's not going to fight him in the ring fair and square. Okay, go do your... No, he's got to talk for 20 minutes, and then he'll stab him in the back. You know, it just... That movie drove me nuts. I'm like, just get on. It's like a 20-minute movie with 2 hours of dialogue. I did not like that movie. And I won't see... the sequel.
John, you got me this week.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. A lot of people love the movie.
Yeah.
I didn't like it. Lots. I didn't like Titanic either. I just didn't like it. I'm not saying
it wasn't made for you. It
was
made for 14-year-old girls. But Gladiator was made for me,
but I did not like it.
I mean, Russell Crowe.
But see,
come on.
The thing is I could say, okay, it's a good movie. I just didn't care for it. I can say that. I mean, it won Best Picture. A lot of people liked it. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I just didn't care for it. And maybe it'd be a better movie if I just fast forwarded past all these ridiculously long speeches they gave.
Wow. This week's review, M3GAN.
Gladiator.
A living example of artificial intelligence. There it comes again. M3GAN is a lifelike doll that has been designed to be both a parent and child's best friend. M3GAN, created by Gemma, a clever robotist, can observe, listen, and learn as it serves as a friend, a teacher, a playmate, and a guardian. When Gemma finds herself suddenly in charge of her 8-year-old niece, she makes the unthinkable decision to give the kid a M3GAN prototype.
I haven't seen it yet. I want to see it. I just haven't had time.
Okay, so let's just say, just the broads on, I mean, for sci-fi horror genre, I mean, it's worth a watch.
Okay. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
It's worth a watch. And of course, like everything else, of course, there's going to be things like, really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, at first, I saw the trailer. I'm like, I hated Child's Play. And I'm like, I don't want to see a modern Child's Play. But then I started hearing good things about it. So, you know what? I'm going to go see it.
And keeping it in that trope of being like a modern child. I mean, M3GAN's no Chucky, right? So you're not going to get all that. But the creep vibe is there. But with a heart.
All right. This week, JB remembers Dungeons and Dragons, the cartoon series.
Oh, I see what you did there.
I got my shirt on. No, the Dungeons and Dragons cartoon series. I love this series. I did not know that it was made by not only TSR, which was the company that originally owned Dungeons and Dragons, but Marvel Productions and Toei Animation. All 3 of them produced this show. It ran on CBS from 1983 to 1985. Had 3 seasons, and they never made the finale episode.
No,
which drove me nuts because I loved it.
And going forward, that from what I know is that if unfortunately the network had absolutely no faith in Dungeons and Dragons. Now, of course, also what was going on in Real World at that time, it was what was the name of that group? Because they were saying, Dungeons and Dragons
it's evil, it's
satanic,
kids to sadism.
And kids are like strange. There was a whole thing that happened.
Well, they didn't have video games yet the
thing is, there was just
these groups have to blame something on something.
And they had a very slick, stylized show. And this, for being in the mid-'80s on Saturday morning cartoons, it was one of those things that was engaging. And it was cool because you had Tiamat and you had the Wizard.
Yeah,
and you had
Venger.
All of that
Venger,
stuff.
the evil wizard. He only feared Tiamat. And the magic weapons. I loved how he was chasing them down for the magic weapons.
Yeah, and then you had a little bit of diversity going on in there. You acrobat. And
well, I haven't done my quick synopsis. They go to an amusement park, 6 friends. They get on the Dungeons and Dragons ride, and the ride magically transports them to the Dungeons and Dragons world, where they run into an old man who calls himself Dungeon Master, and presents each of them. He gives them their character class and presents them with a weapon. He says, acrobat, throws him the staff. Yeah. Barbarian, you get the club. Wizard, he got the hat. Yeah. The ranger had the I don't know what you would call it, lightsaber bow.
Energy bow.
Energy bow.
God, that was my weapon of choice in every D&D cool, man? I have an energy bow. There's no such thing. Yes, there is.
There will be.
Yes, there is.
But it was great.
Cavalier? Did you say Cavalier?
Yeah, there was a Cavalier. I don't remember what he had.
And the Barbarian.
Barbarian had the club.
Yeah.
Oh, and they had Uni. The baby unicorn was the pet of the Barbarian. Venger wanted the power of the weapons, so he was constantly harassing the heroes, trying to get the weapons from them. And finally, the only way to counter him was to bring him into contact with the dragon Tiamat. Yeah. It was the only thing Venger feared. And it was a great show. I enjoyed it.
I did. I enjoyed it, and it helped define our childhood. This week, 252 recommends Night Court. Judge Abby Stone, the late Harry Stone's daughter, continues in her father's legacy as she oversees a Manhattan arraignment court's night shift and works to maintain order among its eccentric and cynical staff. Now, I know Frank and Harp were already big fans. Well, we're all fans of Night Court.
I love Night Court.
Fans
I haven't
of the
watched
thing,
the new one yet.
And as far as the new one goes, Peacock has already issued a second season.
Well, that's good.
It took a little bit for Night Court to kind of get its feet wet, but if you think about it, the original did too. It wasn't a runaway hit right out the gate. It was on that massive Thursday night lineup in the 80s, where you're talking about the Cosby Show, Cheers. Night Court. What else was in that lineup? There was another
I don't know.
monster show. But anyway.
The decades blend for me. So,
to bring back John Larroquette as Dan Fielding. And still being able to... It's funny too, because he does seem like he doesn't even want to be acting anymore. He seems like he's done with the business, but he's still in it.
And he looks like Santa Claus.
He's a very old man. He is old man. But anyway, I'm Coolwater Kurt. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. We like to hear what you think. Leave us a comment down below and let your opinion be heard. And if you like this video, please check out other videos on our channel.
And I'm JB. I'd like to give a shout out to my man AM at Comics Safari. And this is 252 Pop Fiction, where you hear it first.
That's it. That was it.
Yeah.
Adonis, pull yourself together.